It is September, which of course means they're already selling Halloween candy, which of course means I spent $40 buying Halloween candy. I am so glad that I don't have children because they would all have diabetes by now. I probably have diabetes. I haven't been to a doctor's in like 6 years. I have way too many fucking candies here. I spent $40 on damn Halloween candy. I'm a grown-ass man. Greetings and welcome to the Fan Perspective. I'm your host Nathan Nile here with my continuing coverage of the WNBA 2017 playoffs. Round 2 just concluded, another single elimination game for two very unlucky teams. First of all, you have the Phoenix Mercury going on the road for the second straight game against the Connecticut Sun, who looked well rested, ready to go. Jonquel Jones had a double-double at halftime. She and Alyssa Thomas got started early. This team got out to a huge lead, leading by at 1.17. But in the second half, Phoenix turns it on. Taurasi and Griner combined for 49 points, and they come roaring back, and they're able to grab a very strong win. For the second straight year, they're able to win both single elimination games on the road to advance to the semis. Then you have the Washington Mystics versus the New York Liberty. Different state, basically the exact same storyline. New York comes out looking real strong, stifling defense. They get out to an early lead, but then in the second half, suddenly their scoring just stifles, and you've got the Mystics, especially Kristi Toliver. They just start pouring on the points. She single-handedly outscored the entire New York roster in that third quarter. She has a career playoff high 32 points. She hits a record 9 3-point attempts. 9 of 16 on the game. And oh my God, the Washington ends up pulling off the upset, going on to win by about 20 points. So it's very interesting how both of those games have basically the exact same storyline. The home team coming off of a bye week looking very well rested. They start off very hot, ready to go. But the away team comes back in the second half, huge scoring, and they're able to put together big runs to take a lead, which they just hold on to till the very end. I'm hearing a lot of people talking about how, this new playoff format is just really making it exciting. It's destroying teams because so far, this is only the second year that we've done this, but 3 out of the 4 teams that had a first round bye, they end up losing their first game to a team that comes in hot. And you start hearing the rest versus rust debate, because this team, they have a game where they get to prepare themselves, shake off some of that rust, like get themselves into form, and they just come in just ready to win. But I think that could be a part of it, but I think it's a very large, complicated formula. There are so many more factors to consider. I think it goes far beyond just that. You look at the teams that are losing, like New York. They've lost 3 straight years, even before this new format. They dominated the regular season, controlled the Eastern Conference, only to suffer an early playoff loss. They look like a team built to dominate during the regular season, but they're not be able to come up clutch in the big moments. On the opposite hand, you've got the Phoenix Mercury. They've played so inconsistently, yet they have yet to lose a single elimination game. They're 4-0 so far under that new format, and most of that has to do with probably Diana Taurasi. They showed a graphic during the game. She's 11-0 in winner-take-all, do-or-die games, 15-4 in elimination games in the playoffs. You're looking at a winner. Does the new format factor into it? Yes, but it's one factor out of many. I don't think this alone is killing teams' chances. And I don't think that there are going to be any teams that are like, okay, let's tank these last 3 games of the season because we'd rather have the 5th seed than the 4th seed because the 4th seed always loses. I don't think any team is going to start saying that. Either way, it'll be exciting going forward to see how long this trend continues. But I think, as I've said before, so much of it just has to do with which teams are playing. I mean, if Phoenix is able to get a bye, I doubt that trend would continue. Not to mention that the Sun, this franchise, many of the players on it right now, this was their first ever playoff game, and you're going up against a 3-time champion, future Hall of Famer in Diana Taurasi, and a champion, potential MVP someday, multiple Defensive Player of the Year in Brittany Griner. She's probably going to win a couple more titles before her career is over. So you can't really say that it's the format. I think Connecticut just had a really bad matchup. That's a lot to contend with in your first ever game. Anyways, I don't want to spend too long dwelling on this. Instead, we're going to look forward to Chapter 3. We are now in the semifinals. It goes to best of 5 games, and the 2 winners of these 2 series go on to face the finals. You've got the Minnesota Lynx versus the Washington Mystics, and you've got the Los Angeles Sparks versus the Phoenix Mercury. First thing we're going to look at is the Lynx versus the Mystics. The Mystics have defied some of the odds in getting here. I'm pretty sure I've chosen them to lose every game so far. So with that in mind, congratulations Washington on making it to the WNBA Finals. Both of these teams are incredibly talented. They have playmaking and depth at every position. The one advantage that Minnesota has is that, well, 2 really. Number 1, they're well rested. They've had time to heal up and study game plans. Lindsay Whalen is expected to make her return. And the 2 is just chemistry. Washington Mystics, one of the main reasons I didn't expect them to win this much is just because everything is still so new. There is somewhat of a championship pedigree. You've got a very talented and experienced head coach. You've got Kristi Toliver fresh off of a championship last year. You've got Della Don, who's been to the playoffs every year of her career. But there are so many new pieces in place. I couldn't be sure that they would gel instantly. There are very few times that you can have a team like this that gets this many new faces, this much turnover, and wins a championship that year. It just doesn't really happen that quickly. Forget about the bye weeks, forget about home field advantage, forget about the titles. Just the fact that you've had Moore, Whalen, Brunson, Augustus, they've been together for how many damn years now? I mean, there's a reason they've continued being so successful, and the same head coach the entire time. Sylvia finishing her 2nd year here. She's really adjusted to them. They've adjusted to her. You see the numbers she's putting up, very likely to win MVP this year. There's just a lot to compete with, and I think Washington can put a scare to them. They might be able to win a game, possibly even 2. They might possibly be able to force a game 5. But I just have trouble believing that the Mystics have what it takes to win 3 games against Minnesota. And then you have the Mercury versus the Sparks, and the Mercury, so far, they're having the exact same kind of postseason run that they had last year, which doesn't bode well for them, because last year they won 2 single elimination games only to get swept by the defending champions. This year they've won 2 single elimination games, and now they're facing the defending champions. In LA, they've won the past 7 games, and now they've had a week off to get well rested and to prepare. Not to mention that they've got 2 damn MVPs on their roster. Griner is definitely an X factor. If they're going to win the championship, the Mercury need her to be that MVP that she's been all season long. There are very few players in this league that can actually stop her one-on-one. Not to mention, as I've been saying about Taurasi, she's a winner. I think Phoenix can put up a fight. I don't think they have what it takes to win an entire series, because the Sparks, they've got too much talent. They've got explosiveness and versatility and depth at every single position. And I just think the Mercury will be a bit overwhelmed. And there's no way that they can win 3 games against a team this stacked. So that's the end of this video. Like I said, look in the description below. You'll see all the times that the games are scheduled. And as soon as both of these series have concluded and the matchups have been set for the finals, I will do a video to discuss that. And after the finals have concluded, I will do one more video this season, which will be the off-season power rankings, where based on where the teams finished this year, I look and try to see how strong I think they'll be next year. So until the next video, my name is Nathan Nile. This has been The Fan Perspective. Hope you have a great week. Enjoy the series.